Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's been a long time. That's 2020. Hi to you guys. I've been here since 2020. I started this podcast in 2020 and then I took a break in 2021 essentially. In 2022, I moved to Canada to take an MBA and specialize in marketing just to understand a lot about some of this stuff and then finding how to integrate it with my previous work experience and then hopefully trying to launch out into other industries. So here I am trying to put some of the things I've learned to practice. The name of this podcast is Start Rebuilding. And it used to be work-life conversations with MBA, but I changed it to Start Rebuilding. And that's because over the time, my target audience listening to the podcast and even on social media have been people between the ages of 30 and 55, actually. And my goal is to work with you to help you start up whatever projects you have ongoing, not just content creation, because I know that a lot of people are already talking about how to put yourself out there, personal branding and all of that. But the goal here is to get you to start whatever projects that might be in a way out of your traditional course of education. For instance, I studied pharmacy, I have a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, and I took an MBA essentially and specialized in marketing. Some of my work experience before then had to do with marketing in the pharma industry, but I just wanted to have a broader scope of what businesses are like, how to run a functional business, and then also what marketing is for various industries essentially. So that was one of the reasons I went to take an MBA essentially, I would say essentially. So this podcast is now Start Rebuilding, and the essence is to help you get you and gear you up to start whatever projects you've been procrastinating. For me, this is like a pivot, and that's the title of this first episode, Pivoting in Your Career. I know we've had this topic so many times, and there are a lot of people that have actually also spoken to this, but sometimes we do not have the courage to actually pivot. And that's because we feel like we've spent so many years in whatever background we have. We've, put in so many efforts. So many people know us and have branded us to be that. So coming out of that and working on a project that brightens you up, that might not be directly in line with what you've studied in school, could be a challenge, especially if you're in your 30, between 30 and 55, because there are bills to pay. You have things to probably have people you're responsible for. So you cannot just say, oh, I'm not doing this again, I want to move into this, without actually thinking it through. There are various reasons why people pivot. Sometimes you're bored of what you're doing. Sometimes it might be that there's something new. For instance, everybody's talking about artificial intelligence right now. It's not like AI has not always been there, but our awareness is raised about artificial intelligence. And some people are already pivoting into this area because it's interesting to them, because it's something they want to learn about. For instance, there's certain people I have studied so far that have pivoted from their traditional background to what you're doing now. I'm going to use examples that you're familiar with and some examples that you might not also be familiar with. One example that really lights up something in me is Salem King. Salem King has a bachelor's degree in economics and now he's a full-time content creator. And he is still growing his brand. He is doing a lot. He just completed his Creator 101 series where he made short videos for creators for 101 days. Another example is Ibuka Woshika. She has a bachelor's degree in chemistry, but we know now that she's like an epitome of female leadership. So other examples you're familiar with are people like Rihanna. Rihanna started from music and now she's a fashion beauty mogul. We also have Beyonce that pivoted into country music. I mean, people had lots of things to say when she released her album, but now people turned up for her tour. They turned up for her tour. Another example is Hailey Bieber, who started as a runway model and has also pivoted into the beauty industry and just sold off her company for a huge amount of money. All of this is to tell you that pivoting is not far away from you. It's not just owned by the celebrities. It is people like you and I that decide to say that, okay, right now I have done this for a long time, but I think I want to try something else. And all you need sometimes is the courage and to know that it is doable. I know sometimes you might wonder and say, oh, what if I fail at it? Yes. What if you fail at it? What if you actually fail at it? You would have learned so many things, even though you feel that you failed at what you're doing. There's so many projects I've tried and they actually didn't work out, and I had to dump them. But for me, content creation, podcasting is something that's always been back on my radar. And right now is a project for me getting back to this podcast and all of that. Do I think I have so much experience in it? Maybe not. My background is in pharmaceutical sciences. I'm a pharmacist by profession. But now I'm here talking about things that have to do with marketing. I'm talking about things that have to do with, content creation and all of that. Not even just talking about them. I'm actually practicing these things. So for you to actually pivot successfully, there's some steps you need to take. One thing you need to consider is you need to build up your knowledge base. So say you're going from this industry to this industry, you're going from something you used to do to something you don't even know much about at all. You need to build up your knowledge base. You need to read books. You need to take courses. You can take free courses. There's so many courses you can. In fact, YouTube is like a free educational platform for whatever you want to learn. You can also reach out to people that have done this before. Follow these people on social media, engage with their content, really practice whatever they ask you to do. Because if you do not build up your knowledge base, you are setting yourself up for failure. And yes, we know that failure might come, but if you're going to fail at it, let it be that you've tried everything you needed to do, and not that it was because you were not so disciplined or not so diligent to build up your knowledge base about this new project that you're trying to embark on. Another thing you need to do is to join communities, join professional communities that has to do with whatever you want to do. There's so many communities. There are free communities and there are also paid communities. So you can start with the free communities, even if it's a broadcast channel or something, charts, webinars, attend webinars and all of that. Just make sure that you are engaged with the people in this industry. This will open up your mind and help you see things that you might not have seen by yourself. And also to avoid pitfalls, because some people have gone before you and so they have done certain things and they've realized, oh, this is not how to do it. This is how to do this. It's like a free getaway card for you to understand what to do. And it just shortens the time that you have to spend learning about the basics, because when you are pivoting, you're going to continually learn. Which brings me to a third point. Never ever feel like you've mastered it fully. I'm not saying that people cannot call you an expert on that issue, but always have the mindset of the fact that you have to keep on learning. You have to keep on improving. Read books, attend events, widen your knowledge base, do your research. You get, I know that we have, with ChatGPT now, we just want to, type this in and then look and then figure it and then just pick it up. And then, yes, that's okay. But use ChatGPT as your AI assistant. Do your own research, deep dive in, because sometimes even Sam Altman have said that ChatGPT hallucinates sometimes. So you have to make sure that whatever information you get is credible and you have references to back it up. Just build up yourself, read books. Some books might not be so interesting. Right now, I'm reading a book by Premier Todola titled Making It Big. This is a man that has run so many businesses. And I know that he got lots of attacks when he initially announced the book, and people were like, coming from someone that is rich and all of that, the challenges might not be the same and all of that. But if you're reading the book, or if you've even started to read the book, you will see that some principles are the same. The principles of starting with what you have, the principles of being hungry for something different, the principle of being courageous to take on different challenges, the principle of finding a problem and solving it. Understanding the fact that sometimes whatever you're involved in might not be something that excites you. It might just be a problem that you're spotted that this is the problem that needs to be solved. It might not have any thing to do with your background, or it might not even have anything to do with what you're interested in, but you are seeing that in this sector, this is the problem. For instance, spoke about when someone was supposed to supply diesel to his house and all of that, and then delivery was delayed, and that just gave him an idea that I could do this better, and he had to get his hands dirty getting into the diesel business. Now he owns an energy plant in West Africa. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that career pivoting is not the easiest fit to delve into. And while we all know that sometimes it's just easy to default into what you are comfortable with, but sometimes that breakthrough that you're actually seeking comes from a place of discomfort. Before I round up, one thing I also want to touch on is that sometimes your career pivot might not be an entire exclusion of your background. For instance, I will use myself as an example. After graduation, I started my career in clinical pharmacy, working in a hospital and all of that. And then with time, I pivoted into sales and marketing. And then I streamlined myself and then focused on marketing. So even though I was still in the pharma space, I had moved into marketing in pharma and not a clinical pharmacy, like working in the hospital. So sometimes your pivot might not be an entire 180-degree pivot. It might just be like a deviation. So this is just to encourage you that whatever project is on your mind or whatever thing you want to try, as long as there's a problem to solve and as long as it leads up something in you, go for it. And the world is your oyster. Is that how they say it? I think that's how they say it. Like the sky is big enough. People are waiting for you. So many people are waiting for the solutions you carry. And you might say, oh, there are lots of people doing it already. They're not enough. There are not enough people doing anything. They're not enough. So we need you. We need your perspective. We need your experience. We need that change, that background that you bring in. We need that thing that makes you you in this thing that you want to venture into. So I hope this encourages you. If you have loved this, please like, share, and subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Subscribe so that it reaches more people. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And until next time, I'm your host, Adenike Atoye. I'm not sure I mentioned my name in the beginning. I'm your host, Adenike Atoye, and I'm here to help you start rebuilding.